What up, though, Lions fans? It's your man Curt Steele from the Boss Up Ball Out podcast for Lions Nation Unite. Let's talk about how Jahmyr Gibbs' role in the offense could change now that they've hired new running backs coach Jahmyr Choice. I have to admit, I was shocked to hear that Scotty Montgomery was moving over to replace Antoine Randall L as wide receiver coach. He doesn't keep the moniker of assistant head coach, but ironically, shouldn't be a surprise because Scotty Montgomery was Randall L's position coach when he played wide receiver for the Steelers. So the Lions said, hey, we're bringing a new guy. Jahmyr Choice will come in and take over the role as running backs coach. Now, Choice does fit the mold of having former players on the staff. He was drafted by the Cowboys in the fourth round in 2008 out of Georgia Tech. Spent 6 years in the league playing for the Cowboys, the Bills, the Colts, and the Washington Club up there in D.C. Now, here's a little background on him, Jahmyr Choice, as a coach. Started his coaching career at the University of North Texas in 2018 as their running backs coach. Then he went to his alma mater, Georgia Tech, to become their running backs coach in 2019. And he recruited one of the best players in the state of Georgia to come play running back at their school, Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs gives credit to his former position coach as probably the main reason why he chose to become a Yellow Jacket. During his appearance on the St. Brown Brothers podcast this year, he has big ups to giving his position coach, hey, this was the reason I went to this school. Now, as a freshman under Choice at Georgia Tech, Gibbs had 763 all-purpose yards, 7 touchdowns in his sophomore year, 1,216 scrimmage yards, and 6 touchdowns. Choice was able to unlock the abilities of Gibbs as a running back before Gibbs transferred to Alabama in 2022. And Choice said, well, I'm going to move on too. In 2022, he moved and took over the running backs coach position at the University of Texas in that same year, where he elevated the game of another 2023 first-round pick, because, Gibbs was ours, for the Atlanta Falcons, Bijan Robinson. Now, Bijan Robinson ain't no joke, man. You look at what Gibbs did this year and what Bijan Robinson did this year, pretty comparable numbers. But the fact that, Robinson was more of the workhorse in Atlanta than Gibbs was in Detroit. Now, my question to you is, will the role of Jahmyr Gibbs change now that Choice has taken over as the running backs coach in Detroit? Moreover, should it change because of the numbers he put up last season? Now, you can't deny that dude, Jahmyr Gibbs, we all know about the Sonic and the Knuckles and stuff, but really, most of the year was about Sonic and not about Knuckles. We all know that Demo had some great plays, especially that big play against Seattle, that big catch and run, thunderous, knocking players over, all that good stuff. But when the rubber hit the road, it was Gibbs who had the better season, even before Demo went down. Now, we all know the story of the Lions and General Manager Brad Holmes, how they were clowned when they by the national media for drafting Gibbs in the first round in 2023. I mean, we all know it. We heard it. Oh man, they reached for this guy. I don't know what what they were thinking about. This wasn't a position of value. But it didn't say the same thing about the Falcons when they took Robinson, just a few picks ahead. But of course, the national media is always going to have to take shots at the Detroit Lions. But let's look at what Gibbs has become since he became a Lion. So, been a Pro Bowler the first 2 years in the league, and the people still doubted if he could be the lead running back last season when David Montgomery went down with that knee injury. But what did he do? He set the tone for the offense, man, for the rest of the season. Really, for most of the season, he did. I think Ja should be the starter this season in 2025. I think the hiring of Choice may be an indication that he will assume the role of RB1 in the Lions offense. If you look at John Morton becoming the offensive coordinator, I believe that he will focus more on the run than they did last year with the Gibbs as the focus. You look at that year that he was on the staff, they were more run oriented for the Lions in 2022 when he was on the staff. And I think that that focus is going to be on him as Morton takes over the offense. Not saying that they're going to completely rely on the run all the time, but I think it's going to be a run first offense. I think that's what Dan Campbell wants. And I think Gibbs in 2024, he was right up there with the best running backs in the league. I think he had a near offensive player of the year performance, and he did that while splitting carries with David Montgomery. I think if he's the workhorse, I think he has the possibility of having a offensive player of the year type of season, with the Detroit Lions in 2025. Now, I don't want you to say, oh, Curt Steele saying that Demo doesn't have a role with the Lions. I'm not saying that at all. Don't get it twisted. I like David Montgomery, and I believe he has a role in the Lions run game. I think that if the production of Gibbs just continues to climb, I think he just may have a reduced role in the Lions offense. I'm just saying, because if you look at it, man, even when splitting carries with Montgomery during the season, Gibbs still had 1,412 rushing yards and was fifth in the NFL and was fourth on the team in receiving yards with 517. And not to mention, he led the entire league with 20 total touchdowns. So I'm not saying that Montgomery doesn't have a role, but you look at this production, man. I don't know how you could take Gibbs back a step in this offense with the numbers he put up and the hiring of his former college coach is his position coach here in the NFL, here in the Detroit Lions. So just let me know what you think, man. Give me your thoughts in the comment section of this video. Should Gibbs be the running back one going forward for the Detroit Lions? Hey, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Lions Nation Unite YouTube channel and head over to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast YouTube channel for more content from me and my fellas LL Cool Jones and Coach Mike Jones. Thank you for watching. This is Curt Steele, and I will holla at you real soon.